Good afternoon.
Welcome to another episode of the Detail Grind. What are we on? 16 this time?
Yeah, we can get a driver's license. This
Look
is
at us.
crazy.
Look at us.
Look at this.
How
Look
have you
at
been
this.
this week, man? how's your weather up there?
Been good. Been good.
Yeah. I haven't seen
It
too many complaints come from you.
I will say last weekend was wicked. It was I did the math and I think it was like low 60s Fahrenheit, which is around 16 degrees Celsius here, which is pretty good. I mean, that's for the beginning of March. That's pretty insane. But it's we're in that very unique situation of fake spring, right? Because we're bound to get another snowfall. Not so much
Yep.
the deep freeze, but we're bound to get the heavy snowfalls. But it's that wet snow that it's
Yeah.
warm and doesn't stick to the roads or
Yep.
like the sidewalks, which is fine. But yeah,
Real slush like.
yes, the slush like. But yeah, other than that, it's been pretty warm. Hasn't been too breezy, which is nice. Another great weekend, and then next week is supposed to be pretty decent too. So
I love when you have good weather because you're in
I
a
know.
much better mood when you get to play with detailing products.
Yes, yeah, we do have. I'm gonna try and do some stuff this weekend. I do have some, have to be available for work this weekend, but we'll see what we can do because as soon as I start detailing,
It's an iced coffee, Doc.
Oh.
It's an iced coffee.
Ooh, Dutch Bros, is it?
No,
Is it?
I
Did you
didn't.
get it?
No, I didn't get Dutch Bros today. I
I
forgot.
thought the order was in.
Yeah, I forgot, and then I was just like, I'll have a little bit of iced coffee. This is actually my fourth cup of coffee today. I had a little bout of insomnia last night, so
Yes,
this is
I
what's
heard.
keeping me going. But
I'm on number.
I had
I'm on
a
number 3.
weird detailing week. We've also had kind of like a false spring of like,
Yep.
like it's real sunny and then it might get cloudy and rain for 10 minutes, not enough to really like clean anything. And then everything's a mess again.
Yeah.
So on Monday, I was like, it was pretty clear. I checked the forecast. I was cleaning my car and I got a very strange interruption.
Yes.
I had this like 80 or 90-year-old neighbor of mine. I haven't spoken to her before. I think she might be new. And she rolled up on her hover-round or her electric scooter, whatever it was. And I was in the middle of cleaning a wheel. So I had chemicals and stuff on there. And
startling you is dangerous, though. There's some risks associated with that.
Especially with a pressure washer in my hand.
Yeah.
I mean,
that would have taken her out. Quick slip. 1,000 PSI to the face.
Well, I would have been able to check the hydrophobics on her scooter, though.
Damn, that would be a series. Like, imagine that playing on. Like, does she live independently?
I don't know her story. She did tell me that. Let me tell you how she said, "Hello, neighbor," and I said, "Hello, neighbor," and I thought this was going to be like a my next situation, but she goes, "I need your help. I've locked myself out of my house, and my kitchen window's unlocked."
I don't know how people do that.
I'm like, okay. I said, give me a second. And I rinsed my wheel off, right? Because I wasn't gonna like damage anything.
You have to.
So then I walked down the street with her and she's trying to talk to me. I'm like trying to like get her name. She's trying to get my name. And I'm trying to talk to her, but she doesn't realize that her scooter is much faster than I'm walking. So I couldn't hear a word she was saying.
Even with your stride.
Even with my stride, yeah. Could not keep up with her. She had sport mode on.
Yeah.
So we pull up. I climb in this woman's kitchen window. She's got salt lamps everywhere. Standing on her dining room table. I feel really bad. I unlock the door for her and she offers me a beer, but it's like 10 a.m. I was like, no, I'm okay. It was just a very weird day.
Those beautiful people have such little concept of time, day, it's like, sweetheart,
when you're retired, I could imagine that, when I'm on a staycation or something, I have no idea what day or what time it is.
Yep.
So
exactly,
a permanent staycation like retirement,
sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So you got her in.
I got her in. I reassembled her screen and everything, and locked her gate, and I made sure she got inside, and I felt like that was my good deed for the day.
It's Fort Knox up in there.
man, she had like a chain link fence around her front yard too. I think she's the only person on like my entire street that like, I don't know what she's trying to keep in that yard, but
did she happen to open did she happen to own the sewing kit that actually had cookies in it or anything?
I
Nothing?
didn't see, but she did have a Ryobi leaf blower next to her kitchen table for some reason.
In the house.
In the house. I almost
ready to
stepped on
go
it and rolled my ankle. Yeah.
Jeez.
I don't know what she's blowing around in the house, but
yeah,
that was that was a fun thing.
And then you were saying that you found, I know in our dealings and watchings of the Rag Company podcast, there's a certain type of title a person can get, being such as you're a guy or a guy of a guy, right?
Yeah.
So you found a guy for some Mini Cooper stuff.
I did.
That so you can do an equal exchange of value type situation.
This happened the same day. Okay.
Yes.
I'm still trying to finish my car. I'm working on the floor mats, and I'm just like kneeling at the end of my driveway because I'm rinsing them off and stuff. And I'm not looking up, but I hear a car go by, and I'm like, it kind of sounds like a Mini. And I look up, I'm like, that's a Mini, and pulls in front of my driveway and backs up. And then he goes, I need to talk to you. And I was like,
oh no.
Oh, look, an actual my next situation.
Your anxiety is to the moon right now.
I was just like, I want to finish this was meant to be like maybe an hour long thing, and now
it's 3.5.
It's just the day just keeps going. So he goes, he's like starting, I guess, a Mini Cooper ranch. This man purchases Mini Coopers, and he saw the Mini Cooper in the garage.
Yep.
And I was like, well, my wife's not going to sell that Mini Cooper, so don't even try that. But he also turns out that he's a master Mini technician. Got a couple repairs I need a little service I need to get on the Mini.
Some maintenance.
He's like, I only charge $75 an hour. I'm like, let's go. I was like, let's become friends. And then he was like, and then maybe I'll send he had like his own little detail person or whatever, but he's like, maybe why don't we do business? I'll just send you some of these cars. And I was like, let's do it. So we'll see where that goes. But yeah, it was just a very weird day of events. And I mean, like
to some, $75 an hour seems like a lot, but really that's, if you compare to shop rates, that's about a third of
especially for like the way he explained it to me was like he's worked on many cars, like he's worked his way up, but then like he got bored and decided to work on BMWs and Minis. And he said he likes the challenge, he likes the differences that those engines have and whatnot. So it was just luck of the draw that I ran into this guy when I did. And it was fun. So he's like, you should start a mini car club and whatnot. So I don't know where this is going to go, but he's trying to get 300 Mini Coopers purchased on this ranch and make it like a one-stop shop, like mini museum / garage / retail space. I don't know what he's doing with it, but it sounds cool.
There's a guy that's fairly local that I don't know if you ever remember from like the early 90s, the Mazda MPV vans. They look like, I don't know, I'm assuming the US had them, but he has
I think I know what you're talking about.
He has a farm of these things. And I'm like, that's probably the weirdest vehicle, because like
Dane would drive one.
1,000%. 1,000%.
Dane might own one.
And just not tell us. It's sitting in the Satanic Garden in the back, which we're going to be visiting. For those that don't know, we're going to be visiting
4 days.
The Treasure Valley. It's your first time.
It's my first time.
Is it your first time to Idaho?
It's my first time to Idaho.
Yep.
I do have a good friend in Idaho that like I probably should have visited way before this trip, but this will be my first time.
Dane knows all about the MPV. Look at that. But yes, it's you can kind of cross that off your states I visited checklist.
Yeah.
If you have a bit of a map.
I don't know what else would bring me there.
I knew we'd have
this one friend or something. Yeah. They were popular with some early 90s hip hop artists. Can you name any of those artists, Dane?
I don't know if I'm going to see Biggie in a MPV, but
Fine Detailing is getting a new DA next week.
Ooh. New to him?
Is it?
Well, speaking of DA, Dr. P is in the house as well. He said that he's done some transactions. Got some new flex DAs.
This guy, he revamped his. I don't know what's going on over there. I don't know how Milwaukee's feeling. I don't know if you and Bruce got,
I don't
going on now.
Paraj probably sold a stock in Milwaukee, right? Came back from Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Down to Milwaukee polishers plus 4 flex polishers.
Yep.
Man. I mean, I have FOMO when it comes to like gear acquisition, sometimes.
Yeah, gear makes me happy. I went through a phase of chemicals making me happy.
Yep.
And obviously towels always make me happy, but that falls in line with gear. And
yes.
I'm a big fan of gear now.
But you know what? There's something else that I think makes both of us happy.
Something more important to talk about.
Sitting backstage right now. It's a prestigious crown that I have taken. You have been very close. You got the heart of TRC, which to you is worth more than that, right?
Not a loss in my book.
No,
even 1%.
No,
definitely. But yes, I am in the company of royalty.
You are. I should have had my crown, my sash.
I'm just a little prince.
My robe.
Well, you guys are kings.
Yeah. Hey, we try. What do you say we bring him on?
Let's do it. Let's bring in the man himself, Mr.
Ladies
Brandon
and gentlemen,
Purdy, 2024 Grambassador of the Year.
Thank you.
This is look how humble this man is.
Like, it's the winner that we all wanted after everything that's been happening.
The moment. I don't know if Joey would agree with that.
The moment this man came onto the scene, I was like, "Oh no."
Oh shush!
I thought I was chugging along, and then this guy came and just derailed everything. But
I think I said that to you.
Not be happier.
I said that to you too, Joey. I'm just like, as soon as that happened, I'm like, because when the new crowd starts, I always follow all of them, send them a message, hey, congratulations, welcome to the family. Because like I have a duty to do that, right?
Yeah, as you do. You do now too.
Mentor. And I looked
like
at
our
them,
uncle.
and then
TRC uncle.
I'm the fun uncle. And then you give it a week or two, you get the care package, and then it's like, oh no. It's like, Joey, I love you, my guy, but we got to get going. Like, it's spicy up in here.
And it's tough, right? Because like I was first trimester, this man was last trimester. So like, of course I lost some steam, right? Like, that's the structure of the contest, right? Like, can these people keep it going? But like, man, this guy, and you know what? He has in common with, I think it's Justin, right? Wasn't Justin a last quarter?
Justin was Q4 of 2020. Yep.
Yeah. We talked about that. Yeah. All of his Christmas photography of everything floating in his Christmas tree.
He's got a thing for Christmas.
Yeah, he does.
That's how I met the man. He was dressed as Santa Claus.
Yeah. And then because I remember I applied Q4 of 2020, right? And then I was so mad that Rick got in. I'm just like, oh man, like I know Rick. I'm so close. Like,
and Rick didn't know a single name of any towel.
And I basically had like a call with him. I'm like, Rick, this is what this is. This is what this is. And I'm just like chomping at the bit. And they got accepted in Q1 of 2021. I'm like, cool, amazing, right? And then that ended, and then I got the package, and I'm like, it's the middle of January. It's negative 35 degrees Celsius right now. The box I got had frozen bead maker in it, and I'm like, oh no, what have I done? And then I'm just like, okay, I got to get creative. But then, like, we had the midst of Lex Garage when he started doing the labels for the IKs. And
oh man,
but he
still
did
have an original order, and he included the little LG sticker with it.
And he did a Super Bowl post where he made like a little field out of towels, and the coating bottles were players. And I'm like, I'm screwed. I'm done. But then something told me, I'm just like, you have to push the entire year, not just your time, right? Where they kind of did their time, like they did the quarter, and that didn't fall off completely, but went a little bit lighter. But Dabbler was there as well, and Dabbler was one of the most creative people I know. I I mean, Matt is just insane, which both individuals did end up getting positions, within the industry and industry adjacent, which I think is fantastic. And yeah, that was a tough year, but I mean, Brandon freaking killed it in that last trimester, and I think it proved the trimester system worked well. So I guess the question to both of you is, do you guys feel having the 6 was an intimate setting versus having 10? Like, do you feel 10 would have been too bloated, or you think 6 was like a perfect number, or how do you guys feel with that?
So personally, like, I was always, when I was applying, I kind of had felt like, oh my gosh, it's only 6, right?
Right.
And you want a greater chance at getting picked. I think 10 could be a fun dynamic by trimester, because you always have maybe at least 2 that don't really buy in. That's just part of it, right? And
shout out to those 2.
That, yeah, right. Shout out. But like, look at Joey's trimester. His trimester was stacked, in my opinion.
It was.
Like,
it was.
I always go back and I've looked at all of them. I went back to the very beginning after the announcement and looked at everyone's all the quarters, and then they kind of did that weird change last year, and then this
Don't talk about last year.
Yeah. So Joey's was just stacked, in my opinion, and then trimester 2 is kind of weird, and then there are a couple there.
Say that again,
maybe. And then our trimester was I think it was pretty fun. But I don't know.
It was a good way to end the year. I think I think the trimester system having 6 each time was like, it was definitely like, I wanted to apply either way before that was even announced, right? So I would have been cool either way. But like, some people put out a lot of content, right? Like, and like you said, I go and follow each one of them, and like, I want to make sure that you keep your enemies close, right?
Yes.
And I don't know, man, following 10 people 4 times a year, like, that's a lot of people to follow. Like,
that's an easy way to get 40 followers a year, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, but that's easily like there's gonna be a lot of people getting muted in my mind, in my world. So I think the trimester is like the perfect thing. Also because like our packages throughout the year, like, we were able to get like a lot of stuff to show off and make content with. Right. Like, so instead of maybe being spread thin and like, here, you guys get 2 bottles of bead maker each, we got a lot of cool stuff. So I'm very thankful for that. And I just had an excellent time the entire year.
Yeah, the trimester, like, it's kind of the perfect amount of time to make content and come up with ideas. I like that.
You can't do it.
Right? Nice. What are you doing, Carson?
His alter ego is going to do it.
But yeah, I felt like at the beginning you're like, oh, I have all this time. And then as the months go on, it's kind of, you run out of time almost. Like I've shared this before, how Anthony kind of extended his hand to let me use the studio. And I kept saying like, oh, like, I definitely want to do it at least once. And then like all of a sudden it was December. I'm like, oh shoot, like, I need to get on.
I haven't been there yet.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that, because I know, which I relate a little bit, is because Joe, that Pumpkin Diesel, was also local and was able to go a couple times for different shoots for their lives and things like that. So I think being able to go there physically, yes, sure, it does help. But I don't think it's going to necessarily put you a leg above. Like, it's not going to give you an unfair advantage, but I think just being able to interact with them, and then they can put a face to a name, versus just being either international or across the country domestically. It's a nice to have for sure. And I mean, but also too, it's maybe there's some product that, you didn't want to do in one of your 300, curbside pickups you did, but you can go and, go in the cabinet, grab a product that, like, maybe you're not so sure about buying, but even just trying and like give honest feedback with it too. Right. Cause like, you may not need, a full bottle of Ulex, for example, or maybe you have Ulex and you don't need tea, but you'll still take a picture of the bottle of tea or do a little short with it or something.
Right. Yeah.
So. Yeah, because you have the option for you have opportunity for education too, right? So like when life be lifing and you're like, oh snap, I haven't made a post in a few days or something. Being able to like take a picture of one of the products that maybe you've used, right? But you don't have time to make a video about. Post a picture and just explain like what this does and you know, plug your promo code so that people can save on it, because you know there's no commission to us, so we're literally just doing it to spread the word. But yeah, I think just trying to get creative outside of the typical like let me make a video kind of deal is like sometimes the hardest part, right? Like I'll be here and be like, what, I didn't do anything today. Oh man, like what can I grab real quick? That's not fake, right? That's not like, oh, let me grab this product I haven't used yet, but like tell you how great it is, because it's just not how I roll. But
speaking of great, go ahead.
Who's great? No, go ahead.
Great.
It's my next question for this man.
Sean Gallagher. He started buying detail Popo after he got rejected 5 times to applying. Now, Sean, Joey and I did plug you hard AF yesterday on the Q&A.
Careful how you phrase that.
Everyone in the chat, head over to Carzilla or TOC Supplies and pick up a shelf, bottle holder, glove holder, whatever you want, because we need some sexy bottles in the bottle holder to revamp the site photos.
And use Bucky VW.
Yes. Oh man, I forgot about that.
I'm just saying.
Yes, I appreciate
plug where I can, man. But what I want to know is we talked to so you also have the title of being our first repeat guest. We had you on a couple months ago.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
But if there's ever a moment to have someone come on, it's like this. But what I want to know is I want to hear how you found out.
Yeah.
I want to hear. I want to hear. I wish you. Did you record this? Did you like know the call was coming and like set up a camera or anything?
No, it was a whole ordeal. Let me explain it.
Okay. So set it up for me. Paint the picture.
I should. Where's my popcorn, baby? Where's my popcorn?
And I'm sure I'll get a chance to explain it during the segment at TRC May. So we'll have a segment.
Yeah, you don't have to. You don't have to spoil everything. You can.
Yeah. Well, I owe you guys an explanation because.
Yeah, you do.
the day and the day before, I think we were chatting right in our group chat, and I had known, and I just I had to play along.
It's the worst.
I felt so bad.
78 days since the beginning of the.
No. Okay.
Dewar would text us every now and then, and he'd be like, "It's been 46 days, and you still don't know," or whatever it was, and like. So I'm assuming it was one of those messages where you were like, "Oh, I already know."
Yeah, well, it was really the last couple of days leading up to the announcement. I might have responded and had to tell a fib. I'll look through it and I'll admit my guilt. But no, so just so you guys are aware, and anyone listening, so obviously there's the TRC Q&A. I got invited to be on the Q&A, and Dane's in here. Dane will remember the conversation. Dane had DM'd me to come in, and I'm like, it's happening. Right? So I'm thinking that this is it. And he had double messaged me, and he said, hey, like, we need to get you in early. If you can come in early, we need to do this check, mic checks, all this stuff. And it was like an hour and a half before I needed to be there. And I'm like, oh, here we go, right? So I get there, and I walk in, and everyone's like eating lunch, and I kind of just sat around. Yeah. And then they did the mic check, and then that was it. And I was like, okay, like maybe they're gonna announce it during the Q&A. Like, how are they doing this? Because in the past we've had an instance where there was a special way it was announced. But anyways,
they gotta get better about like the decoy that they come up with, because like 2 years in a row it's been pretty damn obvious.
Right. So I go through the Q&A, we get through it all the way, and then the cameras are off, and they're like, thanks, man, have a good day. I'm like, oh my goodness. So I go home, and I even told Tay, she's listening now, and I told her, and I was like, I think we're going to find out who won. I'm like, yeah. So That wasn't it. But then a week before, so it was announced last Friday, and then I believe it was on Q&A day the Thursday before, so about 8 days before they announced it. Anthony had reached out and said, hey, we're working on a special prototype, blah blah blah. I'm not going to reveal anything, but he's like, I was chatting with Sydney, she has one, and we want you to have one too. Can you find time today to come pick it up, either before or after the Q&A? I'm like, I gotta spend my lunch to go do this. And I remember texting Tay, and there she just responded, literally the longest 2 months ever. Yeah, so she knows.
Yes.
So I go and I call Taylor as I'm pulling up. I'm like, hey, I'm going by to pick up this prototype thing that they've been working on. I like have this feeling it could be it, but I'm like, honestly, I don't even know if I'm here to pick this up on my lunch.
If you leave again this time without anything, like
rage quit.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Man.
So I text. He's like, hey, let me know. We're doing a shoot. Like they're doing some special shoot. Let me know, and I want you to come through the back. I don't want you to come to the offices because they had that flooding that happened, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's been a
this
lot of crap.
This guy knew when the flood was happening. Listen to this.
Oh yeah,
great flood of 2025.
Right. Yeah. So he's like, hey, come on in. So I come on in, and he's standing right there, and everyone's behind, and it was cool because like Gabe was there, Sydney was there, obviously Dean was there, and Carson was there, and they filmed some stuff. I don't know if they'll put it up later, but it was pretty cool. I was super elated, right? Super happy, but then they dropped the SEMA thing on me. And I was like, oh, dude, my goodness. So
I was so stoked for you. When I read that description, I was like, hold on, he's local. Like, what does he get? What does he get? What does he get? And I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Like, that's killer.
It was pretty cool. So I'll let me explain it to everyone. So they upped the shopping spree to $2,000 for me. Because typically they'd fly you out. You get to stay up in a hotel. You'd go to the meals. You'd just kind of attend everything. And they're like, well, you're local. We can't really do any of that for you. I'd love to, stay in the hotel with you two, but I don't think that'll fly.
Gets a little crazy down at the...
We'll get an extra card.
That's right.
Yeah. So there's that, the $2,000, which is amazing. They want me to come to all the dinners, which is sweet. They're going to sign a polisher. I've requested a Mark V because I'd like to use it. We'll see. He's going to reach out to Rupez, Anthony is, and then I'd like to get it clear coated so I can use it. And
I was just going to say, just take it apart, get it clear coated, and there you go.
Yeah. Exactly. So then, and then he's like, and since like we can't fly you out for this, we're going to just take you to SEMA with us and all expenses paid. And you get to hang out in the booth and do whatever you want. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And that
get
means
harassed
a lot.
Get harassed by me and Dewar this year, hopefully.
Right. Yes. Yeah. I mean, so my plan was to go this year and save up to fly. I was even thinking about driving because it's like a 10 or 12-hour drive. I'm like, gas money. Let's see. It could probably be
Crunch those numbers.
Yeah, exactly. And then I'd have to stay in a hotel and then pay for meals. There's a lot of, and not just like dinners, like we're talking all meals, snacks,
everything,
whatever, right?
And it's Vegas, so nothing's free.
Yeah. So it's crazy. I was so shocked, if I'm being honest. Like that's the coolest thing, especially.
Hey, I'm pretty excited about these custom baseball jerseys.
Yeah, right.
Heard about those? That is
I'm pretty stoked. I don't know what it's gonna say. I don't know what it's gonna look like, but I'm pretty stoked about that.
I love it. Yeah. So I'm super excited for the end of this month. It's gonna creep up on us. I was gonna try to come by regardless of who ended up winning.
Yeah.
I really wanted to see you too. Eric had reached out, Charleston Detail. It sounds like he's coming. I don't know.
Big old reunion.
Did TRC, did they extend an invite to some of the other folks, or
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was probably, again, I don't know for sure, and I'm not going to speak on behalf of them, but I know in the past, typically they've kept it fairly intimate. just for the simple fact of, you could have 6 to 8 people a day presenting, where some of those companies have 2 people, and there's just a lot going on. And the size of the space, Brian, and it's not super large.
Yeah.
The studio, unless you're presenting at that time, you're not in there. You're in the office shooting the breeze. You're up in the boardroom shooting the breeze, or people
going on just a shopping spree.
Yes, going on a shopping spree, hanging out with Lucas, eating chips and salsa with Josh.
Get the chips and salsa ready, bro. Get it ready.
It's one of those things that, yes, you can come by, but don't expect to kind of get the full tour and that kind of stuff. You kind of have to be self-sufficient. And I think they like to keep it to just the people that have to be there. Whereas 51 weeks out of the year, they're more than happy to accommodate anybody that shows up during the work week and whatnot. And I think it's better. And yeah,
I'm so glad that we have to be there, because I do not want to get I don't want to feel that guilt of why am I hanging around?
But I will say during the day is fun, but the after hours extracurriculars are where it's at.
I'm so worried that is going to just take everything out of me, and day 2 you're immediately going to know that Joey had way too much fun that night.
You got to build. You got to build.
I don't know, man. Go big or go home.
I mean, as long as, because I don't know if Andrew from KCX is going to be there, but he is very influential in the he's an enabler. So if that's not there, but yeah, it's a great time. And every night you can kind of sit with someone different, but you're always
wow, look at this.
Going off camera for that one.
Oh, jeepers. But yeah,
go back and figure it out. Do a little detective work like we all do.
There was a Canadian in there, if you want to add, if that's one of your 2 or a third.
One of them was Canadian.
To give it away, I DM'd her and I'm like, hey, maybe.
Oh, look, you said her.
Oh, shoot.
Exactly. I did that on purpose. Oh man, Carson. Yes.
Carson, say less, my man.
And
say less.
I told these wonderful human beings yesterday. I said, or today, wherever the heck it was. I said, I'm going to be absolutely buzzing with the amount of Dutch Bros I'll be consuming. I don't know if they still do the rewards card, but I'm going to be getting a rewards card, filling that bad boy, and then redeeming my complimentary beverage.
We use an app nowadays. It's 2025.
Okay.
It is an app.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fine,
but see, Doer's excited for some reason about the overly energetic teenagers that work there.
Yes.
And I don't know about you, but I need the coffee before they start doing all the talking.
Yeah, you don't go there first thing in the morning. You go there.
But when you do, it's hello, I didn't, rail a line of espresso like you just did. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm excited.
The worst is when they're 10 yards in there making your drink, trying to scream at you with a conversation while Nirvana is blasting in your face.
Blasting, bro. They got it turned up to 11 at 6 in the morning.
I think I'm not having this conversation with you.
I know we were there because last year was during Easter, right? So a lot of people obviously were doing Easter with their families and stuff like that. And we went to one of the downtown ones, but there was people inside all wearing bunny costumes. And it took me a second because I wasn't really in Easter mode. And then you walk into a Dutch Bros with a bunch of bunny costume people. And I'm like, hey, this is just Dutch Bros, man. This is how it is sometimes. And then it kind of clicked. And I'm like, Sean,
they'll be like, what are you listening to? What radio station you got on? And I'm like, get out of my business. Just give me the coffee.
Have you heard of the Detail Grind podcast on Spotify? You should be listening to that. Yeah, Doer Dutch Bros is okay, slightly better than Timmy's. So
yeah, it's not. I mean, you're not going there for craft coffee. You're going there because it's Dutch Bros, and you might get a free sticker of the day,
or an app benefit, or whatever
something
kids call it.
Something applications download it from the App Store.
Yes,
that's fine.
Also, if I forgot to say it at the beginning, but if you guys have questions for Brandon, as Grambassador, if it's Grambassador related, if it's detailing related, if it's
controversial
about his
question,
controversial question, he might turn his camera off for it.
That slider,
his
baby.
Dr.
Flip that
Pepper
slider.
Stanley Cup, whatever you want to ask
man.
questions about.
Yeah, baby.
Over here flexing on me.
Yeah. I didn't do this myself. We'll just say that.
You know, I have a Dr. Pepper neon light that I should really have behind me. So maybe in the next podcast I'll have that.
That could be in your. You could hang that in your front window for like trick or treaters in October. You know,
and everyone just gets a can of Dr. Pepper.
If the DP light's on, it's go time. If it's off, not go time.
But
you know what? While we have these questions rolling in, I do want to play. Which it started right after we had them.
Let's go.
But we're gonna have our itty bitty game.
I honestly forgot until just this second.
I honestly think that Brandon likes the tier list more than winning a trip to SEMA and Grambassador of the Year crown.
I hope. I haven't seen it yet, so I hope there's some good stuff on here.
All right. So
yes, I love it.
The options for our list go as follows. The top is totally awesome. All right. And then after that is heck yeah.
You're a menace.
And then the middle is okay. And then we have reasonable and then just stupid. Okay.
You're a menace, Stuart.
I try. We're going to start off like a Little Caesars pizza, hot and ready. We have the ever so reliable Volkswagen. Where are Volkswagens sitting for you, Brandon?
I don't know if you guys saw my story yesterday, but you know, that reliable pumping the seat down and sliding it back, nothing electronic there to break. Real reliable.
So, take it to the bottom, please.
He's off camera.
Moly.
I don't know who said that. I'm sorry.
Well, I guess the next one. I mean, I know where I'm putting that.
There you go.
Like
we've been so I learned stick shift on 88 Camry wagon.
Was that the dual wiper one in the back?
I think so.
I don't even care.
Where'd you go?
Yeah. The only thing I know about Camrys is like that early 2000s, mid 2000s one with the bumper dent. It is like the stereotypical Camry dent.
Yeah.
But you're rocking the Corolla and the RAV.
Yeah, we got the Corolla, the RAV. My mom has an Avalon. We have another RAV back at home. We've had a lot of Toyotas.
You're a Toyota family.
My parents had an Avalon, but it was an 05. It was an Avalon Touring, which had the brushed chrome interior versus the wood trim, which is the old man thing. But that 3.5 liter V6 freaking ripped. Like I remember I was grade 11 or 12 when they bought it, and I'm just like, yo, I'm gonna race.
What the heck does this mean?
Sheepstick. Look at this freaking Canadian.
I love it.
Doesn't Sheepy drive a Subaru?
Where's Gabe? I need Gabe in here. Oh my goodness! I need.
Although Gabe didn't know that a certain type of truck didn't come with suicide doors and lost a bet.
Gabe's probably live on TikTok or Amazon right about now.
Probably.
Straight up.
But yes, I agree that Toyotas are very good. I would totally have a Toyota tomorrow. Not a big deal.
I really like a 4Runner.
I do like the new Tacoma. Our Chromatic Garage has one that in its cinematic prowess has been displayed. And I mean, the CVT transmission is not my favorite. I don't know if the new Tacoma still has a CVT. Chris M.
You know what's better than CVT? You know what's better than CVT, Doer?
6-speed manual.
DSG.
Yes, we had 2 clutches, not just one.
Yes,
I love my DSG.
I love my DSG. I love my paddles.
And you know what, Chris M? You know what? Hold on. Do not
Sienna.
Do not diss a minivan. All right. If you have crap to haul around, or if you have friends, a minivan is mint. If you don't have friends, don't buy a van. But
the closest I would buy to a minivan is that new VW bus.
The ID Buzz. The ID Buzz.
I
sent Joey a photo of one today that was slammed on bags. And I'm like, bro, that's like a $90,000 Canadian van with a $10,000 air rate. And I would $100,000.
I would turn it immediately into a detail rig.
Why is there a period in the name? That's
do we have to ban Chris M here from the chat?
Dang.
How dare you?
Shots fired.
That's pretty brutal.
Listen, Sheepy, just because you It's not really.
I got a chem guy's bucket right here. So
I don't know what this guy's talking about.
We've ripped the sticker off, but
I have 3 chemical guys buckets that I told you I covered with Rad Company stickers.
Mm-hmm. So next one, obviously this is stupid to have on here, but
yeah,
it's very stupid.
Totally awesome.
Totally awesome.
And I'm paid to say that.
Yes, literally. I'm paid via airfare to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Brad, if you want to sponsor this, I will do it. I will do it.
Yes.
Let me know. I will. Put a big ADS logo on the side of it too.
I will wrap the entire truck in ADS.
That's right.
Van.
I know ADS got the money for a VW van.
Being
saw DJ's Lamborghini.
Yeah. Jeez.
So I'm a transplant to Idaho. I've been in Idaho for 4 to 5 years. They call us transplants. But go ahead.
Because you've been there for over 10,000 hours, so that traditionally makes you an expert.
You're a professional.
Idaho potatoes. Where are we?
I thought those were chicken nuggets, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
No.
So they're totally awesome. So we need them up there. Okay. And when you're here, we got to figure out a way to go to Rib Shack in Eagle. It's like one of the best barbecue places here in the Treasure Valley. But they have a side called smashed potatoes, and I'm sure some people have had smashed potatoes, but these are like next level. The only problem is like to get like a platter for you to like have like a smorgasbord of like all these meats and all these sides. It's ridiculous amount of money. But we gotta contact Gabe if we want to add that to the to the list.
That's right.
He's in charge of that. So
yeah.
Gabe, if you're listening, we want to eat there.
Joey and I are going to be there first thing Sunday morning as they open. Be like, someone
barbecue for breakfast.
Someone told us to come here. Yeah, just crack an egg. It's fine. So
the next how expensive those are?
Hey, I'll bring some.
Okay.
The next one is a bit of an internal joke. Some Earl Grey action.
So
I can't wait to sip on one of these bad boys.
Yes. So I kind of like chai before like tea. Like I grew up drinking like sleepy time tea when I was like not feeling well. So let's put chai at heck yeah and Earl Grey at okay.
Okay.
Just because it's not like a go-to, but it is an inside joke. And then when you come here and we go to Dutch Bros, they have the Golden Eagle chai latte, and it's insane.
I didn't know they had a Golden Eagle chai.
Yeah, it's insane.
How patriotic.
I know, right?
How patriotic.
I'm a big Kokomo fan. You gotta. I love it so much. I don't know. I really like. I branch out. I get something else, and then I get real disappointed that I didn't get a Kokomo.
So I don't know.
Is this a Yeti? Is that a Yeti?
It is. It is a Yeti bucket. You've used them at TRC.
I have.
So you have a direct opinion with these bad boys.
They're stupid. They're so stupid.
Okay, there it is.
And this is where I'm gonna take my stances, right? I just feel like, how much are they first and foremost?
Like $40 each. 45
I think
bucks
if you
each.
get 78,000 Canadian dollars, but $40 US.
That's insane.
I know like this is, I mean, there's certain buckets from Florida that are a bit more, but
right. So supposedly they keep your water cold or keep your water more warm, but they're not sealed, right? And it's not like you're not opening and closing your bucket. But I don't know the form and function in my mind.
Don't like all
fighting words.
Isn't there an issue with the certain grit guards like don't fit because it's not like a standard bucket size?
I think so. So I have.
Just force it, baby. Just force it.
I'm gonna grab mine just so we can have this discussion.
As we have the shameless plug of the Purdy buckets in the back, we can just ignore those for now.
Well, hey, you know what? We're gonna have that conversation too.
Let's go. Here we go.
Look at those clean cars. They look cleaned and decontaminated.
So I'm gonna plug our guy. I think his name is Steve over at Detail Division. I think he's located on the East Coast, but
love Detail Division.
Yes, he's amazing, and he like handwrites all his notes. I think he's getting away from handwritten notes because he's written like thousands, maybe hundreds.
I got a handwritten one the other day.
I
still got one. Yeah.
No way. Or is it just shorter? Is it not as long?
It's not like the first time I ordered a couple years ago, like my entire box was like tagged with like graffiti all over it. And then like, there was like an 8x10 like handwritten letter, but it was smaller. I think it was on the back of
some detail society labels as well.
Yeah,
I see that.
If you know, you know.
I like this just because it's clear.
Yes,
and it's high capacity, so it's 22 quarts or 20 liters. It's a little bit more.
It looks smaller though, like that. It's 20.
Yeah, it actually goes up to 22. You can buy one that is, or sorry, that's quarts. It's 20 liters. He makes one, or he carries one that's 15. It's a shorter bucket, and honestly, I'm never filling it up that much.
Yeah, because my Carbon Collective ones seem like really big, and they go to 12 on the markings.
Yeah, because 20 liters is just a touch over 4 gallons. Yeah. So you're not even at the 5 gallon, standard bucket. Which I mean, personally, I'm never filling mine up more than 4 gallons, honestly.
Right. And then
I usually do like 10, 11 liters in mine. Yeah.
Here's my.
Those are nice.
Here's my plug.
Let me make that nice and big here.
Yeah,
there we go.
You can get these if you buy 10 of them. I think you can only buy 10 from Uline. There's a bunch of different colors, or there might be like 4 colors, but it's like 5-10 a piece, and this is going to be
sick. And why do you have so many?
Yeah, so I'm going to start. I've had a lot of questions from clients of what to use. I've given them links. They don't like
I knew
they
it.
have to go use the links and shop, and then I have to send them screenshots of what to buy. So I'm going to start offering little kits. An exterior.
I knew it. That's awesome, dude.
And then a complete kit for interior.
Thank you, Sheepstar. I was apparently mathematically challenged today.
Meters for 5. Yeah.
Radical Garage is here.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I think Ricky Bobby's cleaning his Swiss tracks tomorrow. I cannot wait for that.
Do you know if he's making a video about it, or he just
probably
in the dark?
Probably.
I hope so. If not, I'm gonna FaceTime him and just watch him work.
I love that he rips out the Swiss Tracks gloves when he does it. It's like you can't just do like regular Home Depot gloves. You got to have the,
They have gloves.
Yeah. He probably sweet talked. He probably sweet talked someone. Like,
what the heck?
Hello, Swiss. I would appreciate your hand garments, please. And
it's probably like an employee gift that he like talks someone into giving to him.
Yeah. Instead of affiliate commission, he just gets gloves. That's it.
I can't tell you last time I wore like gloves that weren't for detailing. Like it doesn't get cold enough. I don't wear gloves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hear you.
What's next on the list, Stuart?
We have the wash pad because I'm not a huge fan of the wash mitts. I've slowly been growing out of those, but I'm more of a pad guy personally. I don't know about you two.
Yep. Yeah, I can. You could be more efficient with pads, in my opinion. And I've been trying to do the dual fist, where you got 2 pads.
Double fisting.
Yeah, double fisting.
2 pads.
2 pads. Yeah. Heck yeah. I love the pad.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not a mitt guy.
Yeah.
I have more mitts than I have pads, and but I don't put my hand in them. But I don't know. They're like interchangeable to me. I did get a new like Carbon Collective mitt a couple weeks ago. That's like I think it's microfiber, but it feels like wool. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but it's very like it has a very like unique feel on the surface compared to like the microfiber. Which if it is wool, I see why Rick loves his little wool mitt so much because it is a different feel.
I feel like Rick is gonna have his merino wool wash mitt like in a will for his family members too.
He's gonna be buried with it.
100%. 100%.
Whose is it? Who manufactures that?
CarPro. It's I think it's their merino one.
And then and we can't forget about the Dab, which is Gully's favorite. Has a little wrist strap on it.
I gotta get one. I gotta get a Dab.
A little Dab. It's just fun to
say. I wish it came in teal, but
well, of course,
orange goes with it. That's fine.
And then next up, what you're going to be if you don't have already, hopefully getting in clear coating is a Rupes, just the line in general, whether it be their pads, their liquids, their tire covers, their polishers.
Okay, so I about made a move over to Liquid Element just because I'm part of the OG cult, right? Matt Mormon's been pushing them hard.
I didn't know you were part of the OG cult.
I'm like a silent, a silent member.
I see.
But I've just been so sick of the noise and the pad stall I get from my Mark III. Just as these cars and their contours get so much more. And I don't have a Nano. I don't have, what's the little 3-inch that they sell?
HLR 75.
Yep. I was excited when they had the Mark V get released, but I reached out to Anthony about trying to find a polisher that's legit, that's quiet, and I'm not necessarily married to getting something that's cordless.
Yeah.
Because I really want cordless, so I've been flirting with the idea of Milwaukee. But he pushed hard on the Rupes Mark V, and then I asked Matt, like a few days later during the Q&A that he does, or his live stream that he does on Fridays, and the first thing he says is Mark V. Yeah. And I was like, okay. So I'm going to put them at okay, just because that's how things are now. Do I use their pads? I feel like I do. Yeah, I use their yellow pad.
Okay.
Are you telling me to upgrade my Mark III to a Mark V on my little shopping spree too? Because like I feel like my Mark III doesn't. I feel like my Mark III doesn't get enough love as is, and I feel like I'd be abandoning it.
Right.
Grown to love it.
I'm hearing that it is insanely smooth. And the noise is just a different noise. You know how some noises, they have different pitches?
Yes.
They just annoy the crap out of you?
Yeah, because the gears are different.
Yeah, that's my Mark III. And I probably should go in and put some nice tacky grease in there and maintain my Mark III better. But I'd much rather
want to try those.
Honestly, though, if you just change the grease, you could call it something completely different if you wanted.
Yeah, like I've sent mine in to Rupes like once or twice, and it's gotten its service, but like maybe packing it with my own grease might be like something that makes me like it more.
I will say though, the idea of that is great, but I have some fear of getting the original grease out. I feel like it's kind of like anti-seize where I could wear gloves and like long sleeves and then it would still end up on my elbow. I feel like it would just get everywhere somehow.
Yeah.
But yes, I am excited to try one at TRC because I don't think that they had them last year because it was, kind of like teasing and announcing, but I don't think they actually had them. They may have had one, if I remember, but I think they might have. But I don't even know if it was like a officially mass-produced one.
Where are you putting Uncle Matty on the list?
So I asked him a question a month ago of, hey, can you name some top 3 products that a detailer, like a true detailer that's making money,
I remember that question,
would need to have in their arsenal? And he did his stupid Matt thing and was like, you need to get the Master Collection, hands down. Go get a small business loan and drop $14,000. And I'm like, dude, what the F, Matt? Like, come on, man.
And that's and I love the responses, but I feel like if you want to hear an answer that you actually want to hear, I think it depends on the time of day, the day of the week, where the moon's sitting in the sky. Like, I think all those need to line up perfectly, right? That you can get an appropriate answers because there's days that his mind changes and he's kind of always adapting to what he feels is the best of things, and if he likes something, then he keeps working on it and loves it and does it. But yeah, Carson is saying Mark V is legit. I'm pretty certain I had my hands on one. But if Chris Metcalf is there, which I believe he is this year, I'm excited for the Flex
cordless
stuff too.
Didn't the cordless ones come out early last year? So were those what you played with?
I think I had one in my hand. I think they only had one though. Yes, no, they did because I think they wanted to try and give away a Mark V to Jamie, but he ended up getting a 3 because we signed.
Got it.
Yes, that's what it was. But they only really had one that like they kept because the Roop has really doesn't go on sale, right? So it kind of has to maintain its like retail price. So what they had, they kind of wanted to keep to sell because TRC Mania was going to be available to push and whatnot. But
well, I'll make an informed decision and try them at
it's try before you buy.
TRC.
Right? Yeah, that's a good idea.
Wow, look at me being responsible.
There you go.
Yes.
I'll say, hey, I'm gonna say what people are, maybe not willing to say out loud, but like the Mark, not the Mark V, but what are they calling the cordless? What is it?
The LHR.
The LHR.
Yeah, LHR. Yeah. So
you mean the cordless 15 millimeter, the hybrid?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the hybrid. I'm like scared to own one because you hear about all these stories of them blowing up, and it's like
blowing up.
What? No, just smoking and failing. But I don't know.
Oh no,
you got smoke flying. That's kind of
because Joey's got the cordless 3-inch, right?
I do.
Yeah, and it's. I mean,
I do have one dead battery, so I do need to buy a new battery because
I know my my Mark III that I've had for a few years now. I love it. It works pretty well. I do understand the, some call it stalling, some call it garbage technique. Which I kind of fall in between the two of those. And I mean, the cord does drive me absolutely insane. 75% of the time. Right. Because, it all depends on I've learned now to kind of plug it in on one side of the garage when I'm working on one side of the car. And then I unplug it and plug it in the other side, just so I'm not going around the front.
It's such a fight and I can't stand it. So I wish there was
I do get mad when my polisher stalls, like bad words come out of my mouth because especially when you're just on a roll and then you get to that. You know what? Like the Mini Cooper's got the doors are just so bulbous that you think it's going to be easy, but literally you have to change the angle the entire way down, in order for it to, rotate. So when it does stall, it's frustrating. I get it.
Yeah.
So the next item on our list is our great friends over at Koshemi, which I love their product line. I know MZR just came and was it CES as well? Yep. The ceramic effect shampoo, which there's a lot of people online that are really why would you have protector wax? Why would you have SO03? Why is there so many? And I'm just again, it's kind of that traditional, just have fun. SO03 is going to last a bit longer. Protector wax smells really good. It's going to last a little bit, but they're just fun. Who cares? Just go for it.
Yeah, they have options.
If you offer a wash and wax, if you're not advertising that you're going around with a paste wax and doing it by hand, then knock it out with protector wax and send it on the way.
And I know
you're probably going to get better performance. Who knows?
And I'll be the first to admit it can seem a little counterintuitive to be like, hey, I'm gonna foam the car as a pre-wash, rinse it, foam it to touch wash it, and then foam it again. I get that it can be a bit of a process, but again, it's maybe not something to do in a business if you're crunched for time and want to do it as quickly as possible. But if you're just hanging out and you're shooting the breeze, I had a buddy that his wife was getting his truck detailed for his birthday, and they're very good friends of mine. I've known them forever. And it was kind of one of those, I'm going to go a little bit extra on them, and the extra was actually doing a quick zip of a one step on the truck. And I got to that point. I'm just like, F it. I'm just going to hit this with SO03 because one, I can make some content with it. Two, it's going to look freaking wicked. And I was actually pretty surprised this thing was flatter than flat. He does tunnel washes, just, washes it, pressure washes it and just leaves it. Right. It's not, it was messy. It was contaminated, but, it just makes it a little bit easier and just you're adding a touch of simplicity. Right. And I did my recent video, shameless plug, please go check it out on beads, easy beads, depending on the day that you got your bottle from ADS. But those kind of, spray on, rinse off products are fun. SO3, same idea. It's fun. If you have a pressure washer, if you have the equipment readily available, don't stress out about getting your pressure washer out. If it takes a lot of work, don't do it. Spray it on.
Yeah.
Do it.
What's impressive with SO3 is you can go on an decontaminated surface, and it
Yes.
still works.
Yep.
So if you do end up claying or doing, some sort of chemical decon, it's even better.
Yes.
So that's my experience through running my business, because I've used it on some basic details for some folks. So
and shifting our brand love, these are certainly two of my two favorite brands. So we got PNS. Where are they sitting? The wonderful Sydney's in the Treasure Valley as well.
So and, KCX, I want it at the top.
Oh yeah, I guess we kind of left them.
Yeah, so I want them totally awesome, just because there aren't a lot of brands out there that you could say, if I was forced to use only one brand, what would I use? KCX has so many different options.
They got you,
a
baby.
lot of things are dilutable, and you're getting high concentration, which is actually a lot more affordable than a lot of other brands. But
now you can say that about this next one too.
Yeah. I don't want to be the guy that throws everyone at the top, and I put KCX at the top because I think KCX edges PNS, just because of some of the diversity. So PNS, heck yeah. PNS is revolutionary with, just Breakbuster alone. You take that product on its own, and it's already heck yeah. If that's all they made,
Breakbuster could be its own business.
Straight up. Oh my gosh.
They could split that off.
Right. And then I've just been, some of my basic details, I try to do a seal. I've always used Griot's 3-in-1 ceramic wax because it's got great durability. Slickness isn't great. And I finally got around to using Defender in like October after Sydney sent me a gallon of it.
Good Lord.
Defender is amazing.
Yes.
And I use it a lot. But yeah, PNS is great.
Defender's really good.
I'm gonna drop this in the chat for people. In approximately 30 days time, make sure you have some money saved for our latest Heck Yeah edition, because you're going to be spending. That's all I'm going to say.
All right.
Anyways,
tour with the
IK sprayers.
Okay, so is it that sprayer?
No, not this one specifically, just in general.
Ah, shoot.
TR1s, minis, foam pros.
This man just upgraded all his bottles. Do you need to go get a prop?
Hold on. We're gonna do a couple things.
His new bottles do look nice.
So yeah, the freaking Frankenstein bottles.
Before I say anything, you guys need to know that I love IK.
Yes.
I don't want to say past tense loved, but let me stay close because my mic's over here. But I have always used their stuff. I love their pump sprayers. I think their pump sprayers are amazing. I've never had any issues with their pump sprayers, and I think, continue to use them. But I don't want to take the time to like dissect IK because I'm going to be meeting them. So I just, things fail over time. Everything has a life to them. And
a bun smells like a nightclub too, so it's great.
Does he? Oh,
yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah.
So I want to put IK at okay, because I might be trying things out, but if I was just an enthusiast that wasn't running through chemicals all the time, IK just makes sense. The labeling system's amazing. You have both types of measurements, right? You're gonna get, I think you got ounces. Yeah, you got ounces, and you have milliliters, which is great. And then just it looks great, and people don't understand that IK revolutionized bottles when they threw on this little insert on the back. So like this guy, this is what makes it feel.
Dude, I bought all new sprayers just because of that. Like that was enough to buy a 5-pack.
Exactly. Like this is where you get a burn mark, right, in your hand. It's really, really,
especially if the bottle's full. If you fill that thing up all the way, forget it.
A T1 V1 of that, where it didn't have that, when sprayers were really hard to get. I mean, the fat webbing right there, that was like, and if you have, because those were like 25-ounce bottles, like the TR1, and if you loaded, that's like 3 or 4 pounds. That's like it's all right there.
It's heavy, man.
It's like when a cat sits on your chest and all of its weight is on like a 1 square inch little area.
That's funny. So yeah, that I still love them. They revolutionized the comfort grip. They're amazing. I'd love to see what they have in the works, and we want the e-foam.
It blew my mind. It blew my mind because I guess I didn't pay any attention, but it blew my mind that I could put a different sprayer on the eFoam Pro 2 and then have like an eFoam Multi 2.
Yep.
And like, I don't know why I didn't think about that. That's awesome.
Yeah. Mind blown, baby.
That's even more versatile.
You just take the top off and you switch them out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because the only thing that makes the foamer a foamer is not the on there. It's not the bottle. It's the pickup tube mechanism altogether. Which I feel like Anthony's bastard child on knowing all about sprayers now. Like
so I'm excited. I will definitely be saving some of my TRC bucks for another.
Yeah.
I kid.
I love
it.
Like
you know what's funny is that Ibon, he literally brings a hockey bag as a check bag for all their demo stuff. It's hilarious.
That's awesome.
It looks like a body bag of just sprayers.
That's awesome.
So the Ultra Air Blaster, I know they're on their V2. I know you're a parent. You know, you deal with children messes, and you also detail for clients. Is this a highly used tool in your shop?
It is, yeah. I think the V2 they got it right. I'll say that. You can swap out the bearings. I think you can get like a bearing kit, like a 2-pack, which is great. Sometimes it gets clogged up in the head, which is annoying with like when you got something that's wet that you're trying to blow out. If you're not blowing out something that's dry. So I want to say heck yeah, because of what they were able to do. I think it was pretty awesome that someone came to the game and said, we're going to completely change the model of how this thing rotates. It's just, if you break it apart, if you don't have one, buy one because they're amazing. Use code Purdy10. It's going to be valid for the next year.
Let's go.
So again, I'm not earning anything. So
Carlos is not sharing the same sentiment, but that's okay.
Carlos doesn't like V2. Why? It's serviceable. What the heck?
$700 in interior. You can get like 12 of them, so it's fine.
I'm gonna grab.
I thought Purdy just left.
So okay, we got V1, right? Yep. This had some issues. I think V2 is great in my mind. What can get really annoying is
I want my V1 to die so I can upgrade, or just be a man and upgrade.
Yeah, that's funny. But this can get gummed up in here. Where like it's super easy to clean out a Tornador, right?
Yeah.
You can just put like a rip and rag in there and just kind of go around and then take that dirt out. Where this kind of gets clogged up. But then
what if you ceramic coat it first?
Oh, jeez, Joey, that's amazing.
We all have extra coating.
Maybe with some phobic code Joey10.
That's genius.
I don't think Joey10 works anymore. FD10. Use FD10.
No, you can get it at ADS.
Oh, yeah. JB10 works at ADS. Go buy it. I forgot about that.
So I will say this. This thing is extremely durable. This here is much more durable than a Tornador. So
Joey is coding an Ultra Air Blaster V2 maybe an arts and crafts project.
I think so. I think we should do it. We'll use some phobic and we'll.
You know what? Just to never be invited back again, which I do not want. Take like the most expensive coating bottle that they have, and then coat that with it.
There you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
They'd be like, "Do or Joey, what are you doing?"
We're gonna crack open a 50 ml of stout for a little sprayer.
The next on the list is, not the MJGC Indirect, but the foam cannon in general.
Dang it! I wanted to throw the MJGC at the bottom, but
okay, for fun.
You don't like it? You don't like?
You don't want to be an at the top guy.
So I can't say that. I'm just joking around. I've never used one. I've used. My brother has the trigger, or not the trigger, the trigger gun that they sell. I was not impressed. If you're going to spend $70-$80 on one, go get like what do I have? The SGS 28. I think that's the best gun on the market, in my opinion, for the price. I've been really wanting to get an MJGC. I've had an issue with like dropping money on a cannon. And Taylor is gifting me one for my birthday later this month.
Oh, nice!
And it's the active that I asked for,
nice. The end of March. Like, is your birthday when we're there?
No, it's a little before. It's the first,
it'll be
day
close.
of spring.
It'll be close enough. We'll try and do something.
Look at Carlos over here getting violent. How many interiors does he do?
Listen, Carlos. Nobody can reach the upper echelon of.
You can talk to
Captain
me.
Serranos.
I'm here, Carlos.
He is. I'm right here.
Yeah, we don't need to pass. You don't need a messenger.
Are we leaving the MJJC at reasonable? Is that we're gonna leave her?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, you're fine with me changing it to MJJC. I love foam cannons, but okay.
Yes, I love foam cannons too. It's that time of year now that, like we kind of go off and on with a bit of slushiness. Like Joey, I know you purposely drove in the rain the other day to get your car dirty. So we're kind of at like the fun stage of, we're not overly upset. We're not upset if the car gets dirty now, because I've been, especially, pre-foaming a coated car and rinsing it off and being like 80% there is so satisfying. And
yes.
And I will say Easy Beads has been beaten up pretty decent.
It's really good. I know some people say they can't get it to work. I go heavy with that stuff, man, and I can't get it to not work.
I think it's honestly better the longer it sits. Once it cures for a bit.
I noticed that today. Yeah.
There was even a spot where, like, because I was doing a video of it, and like one side of the car I would do first, and then I would go back, and then I would spray it, and it was like way better. Given honestly after like 10 minutes, right?
Tim or Ryan's got some.
We got
Ryan's got some drama going on.
Ooh, you gotta tell us because now I'm curious. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
I love grills.
MJJC does go through more product, like Bruce says. Like I find myself sometimes like I'm like, okay, like if I'm just washing my car, like I'm like, I don't need a full thing to foam it twice, but I do.
That thing looks obnoxious, the quiver. Oh my gosh. Take that label off. It looks obnoxious.
I am planning on taking the label off of mine when I get one because I think I said it last week. It's very Obama 2008. I don't know. It seems very
look at this.
I don't want to say outdated.
Dr. P is selling, man. Look at us.
Wow.
We're encouraging, we're encouraging sales in this wonderful discussion.
That's influencing right there. Yeah. All right. Well, we have some questions for I think we have some questions. We'll go with this one. This one's relevant to Purdy. Where's Purdy from originally?
Kalispell, Montana.
The booming metropolis of Kalispell.
Yeah, so
what's the population?
Whitefish? I don't know.
With or without Canadians?
Maybe 50. Yeah, straight up. Maybe 50,000. No, it's great because you're like 10 miles south of Whitefish. That's kind of a resort town.
2023's population is 29,886.
Flat, yeah.
50K with Canadians.
Well, the valley's kind of vast too.
Yeah,
but so you're like 10 minutes or 10 miles from Whitefish. You're like 15 minutes from the West Glacier entrance, which is Glacier National Park, which is amazing. And then don't go there. It's not that amazing. We don't need more of you there. But I know Flathead Lake is like 20 minutes south, which is the biggest freshwater lake west of the Mississippi. So there you go. Beautiful place.
I know a lot of fellow Canadians with properties down there because a lot of people kind of combine Kalispell and Whitefish. Like they almost treat it as one because they're so close.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I've only actually been down there like twice. But I mean, there's people like, my parents used to go all the time, other families gone down there all the time. And, it's nice. You don't need to go there 1,000 times, but it's nice for sure. But
I think we have another question from Chris that he wanted to know. I think he's asking, are you looking at the Liquid Elements battery one, or are you looking at a corded machine?
That was for me. I was only looking at the corded.
Okay.
Have they officially released the battery? I know they've been demoing it for a couple months, like online.
I
couldn't tell you, but
Fine Detail was in Whitefish last year. Glacier was sick.
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. Cool.
Nice. Sheepstar has yet to pop his KCX cherry, but he says that SO02 is likely the first for his ranked review series. Great series.
Yeah, put that up against some others, because I've seen a lot of SO2 comparisons with like things like Defender. I think who else out there? I'd like to see like ADS ceramic spray would be awesome.
I will say SO2 with the creature, like the short side, is ideal. And then quickly, like, because the nice thing with the creature obviously is dual pile. So like I hit SO2 with the short side first and then the long side to like kind of finish off. Because if you kind of go too long of a nap, like, you know, I wouldn't hit it with an eagle at all. I just wouldn't do that. But you can certainly hit it with a low nap and give her.
Juice Freeze asking, does PNS Velocity Glaze have a lot of fillers in it? Because he's looking for that grift polish. I haven't used Velocity Glaze, but if it's a glaze, I would assume it has a lot of fillers in it.
Yeah.
Have you guys used Velocity Glaze before?
I have not.
No.
Juice Free, just all Juice Free wants to fill is a darn freaking pocket and an apron with a clay bar. That's all he wants. We got to get Juice Free on here. We got to.
We do. But I think it's hilarious that he said he's looking for that grift polish. So at least he's honest. He wants to put lipstick on a pig.
Yeah. But Sheepstar, or not Sheepstar, Juice Free. If you're wanting to hop on, reach out to us. detailgrindpodcast@gmail.com. We'd
look at that.
Love to have you. But
we do have some good guests coming up in these next few weeks, so stay tuned.
I think the next few weeks we're really going to hype up TRC EMA, which for those that don't know, it's going to be a fantastic experience. It runs from March 31st to April 3rd, and it's right around the corner.
3rd.
So it's Monday to Thursday. So mark your calendars, get ready to call in sick, use that PTO. Or, you know, if you're retired, just make some plans of watching this. If you have computers at work, family members, put on every single stream you can. Joey and I are going to be rocking a bit of a pre-show and the mid-show, which, I mean, calendar times will vary depending on the day, just depending on how things go.
Yes.
Right? Because
I am so excited.
You know, I am beyond excited. It's probably one of my most favorite weeks of the year. And it's kind of a nice, I know they just have their detail kickoff sale, but I know that there's going to be some sales and maybe some giveaways.
Oh, Bruce.
That's okay. That's okay, Bruce.
The good thing is you can always catch up and leave a comment for engagement later on.
Drop a like. So, but yeah, I think that's all I had. I just realized that we're almost at 20 after, so we're a little bit over time. But
thank you guys. I respect your time and appreciate your time.
Yeah, most definitely.
So thanks, dudes, for having me on. I appreciate it.
Of course,
dude. Of course, man. We're so stoked for you, and could not be happier about your title.
Yeah,
thank you.
Congratulations, big time.
I was not heartbroken one bit. There's no bad beef between us. We're good, man. I'm excited to meet you in person in 24 days.
Yeah, is it like this? Is it like
you know what makes me mad?
You're not ready.
Because Brandon said he was there when you went live on Instagram the other day. You said you were there live during the rainstorm. We probably made eye contact, and I've been kicking myself ever since. And I'm like,
we probably did.
Was he there?
Yeah,
but hey, that's not going to be the situation this year.
No way.
I'm excited. I'm excited to meet everybody, man. I'm excited to meet everybody from these brands. I'm excited to do our arts and crafts. We've got some good stuff lined up for our halftime show. Day 1, 2, 3, and 4. So please, if you'd like to support us, tune in to TRCMA. Yes. We don't get the credit directly, but seeing all of you guys in the chat will mean a lot to us. So
that'd be sweet. I'll be running around in the back. I basically what did Gabe say? Just stay out of the way.
More or less. It's kind of how it goes.
So we will definitely grab you for a halftime.
Cool. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to be there all 4 days. So
sweet.
Just hanging out. So
sweet. If not, we will do a remote halftime show, and we will show up at your work, and we will talk to you, or at the gym. We'll catch you wherever the heck you're at.
All right.
So
I love it.
But yeah, thank you everyone. We'll have this episode up on Spotify here pretty soon. Drop a like, subscribe. And Brandon, again, thank you. Thanks to Taylor for helping him along this wonderful journey. And but yeah, we'll catch everyone here next week.
And
peace, y'all.
Yeah, man. See you guys. Thank you again.
See ya.